And we are on air. Welcome back, Weekend Warriors, to another episode of Saturday Night Stream here on the Weekend Dojo. Unlike usual, tonight my computer is going to have to be powerful enough to host. I am El Chizo, and joining with me today is your usual hosting YouTuber.
Ace Red.
And tonight we are talking about Nintendo games coming up that have been announced. Now, I know what you're all
Mm-hmm.
waiting for, so we'll get the most obvious one out of the way, the new Smash Brothers. Okay.
Splatoon. Is the Inklings are and
Uh,
Solid Snake is back.
yeah, Solid Snake is back. We've got Daisy now as a playable character.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we've got a lot of new playable characters. And, of course, instead of focusing on how many characters people did get, they want to focus on the one they didn't get. Namely,
Waluigi.
yes, Waluigi. Okay, so I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't think he needed to be in the game.
Why not?
Okay, and here's my argument. Yes, Waluigi only appears in party games, and yes, Smash is a party game. But what do all of the Nintendo characters that enter the Smash roster have in common with their moveset?
They're solo.
Their moves are based on games that they have been in.
Okay.
Now, tell me, what kind of moveset can you build for Waluigi that would reference his old games while still allowing him to be a playable character?
Good point. Because he's only been just know how to team player in tennis, if I'm correct.
He debuted in Mario Tennis.
Yeah. And it was just so Wario could have a team player.
Pretty much. Now, here's something also kind of big. Yes, you could have him use a tennis ball as a side special, but that's one move. Are you going to tell me that every one of his specials is going to be another party game reference?
Could work.
Like his up special. What have you got? You've got nothing. Maybe a
Um.
volleyball spike, but that's a reference to Mario Sports. Then you've got,
Yeah.
and if you're just going to make him a sports character, then there's really no point in making it Waluigi. So you
Yeah.
have to think, okay, well, what are the other party games that Mario has? Mario Party. So
I think
what?
a lot of this complaint about Waluigi not being in the game is more of just a butt of a joke type thing, where people know it's a joke and they're running with it like a meme.
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to say it's like I don't think he is necessary to the game.
Mm-hmm.
He's he's not going to bring anything to the table. He all people are wanting out of him is just a playable model, and
Yeah.
I don't think that is good enough to be a basis for a character.
Mm-hmm. What they could do if they wanted people to shut up is just use like Wario and under like the skin models have Waluigi as a character in there.
I suppose, but then you've got Waluigi's Smash, and I don't think Waluigi was ever in any of the WarioWare games.
No,
Was
he
he?
wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
I don't think he was.
So so that rules that out, because
I'm pretty.
most of Wario's moves are references to the WarioWare games. Hold on, let me
Yeah,
adjust my settings here.
because as far as Wario's canon goes, in my opinion, Waluigi is just an imaginary friend that he developed during. As far as canon goes, that he develops during team matches or crossover events. Because if you notice, you never see Wario with him in his universe.
My theory is that Waluigi is neither a hero nor a villain. He,
Mm-hmm.
because we know there are cities in the Mario universe. My
Right.
theory is that he's just some random dude that they invite to play party games with. Like he's a guy they met one
Just
time
to equal them out.
post. He's just a guy they know essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone that Wario
Yeah.
probably met. Probably lives in the storage unit next door. And oh, if you've ever played Wario Land, if you ever played Wario Land 4, I believe it's 3 actually.
I'm playing 4 right now actually, and I'm loving it.
You're playing what?
I'm playing 4 right now, and I'm loving it.
The is that the Game Boy Advance game?
Yes, it is
Okay, then
GBA.
yeah,
I'm playing it
WarioWare
on
4. You know he lives in a storage unit. Actually, that's Wario Land.
yes.
Wario Land Shake It reveals that he lives in the storage unit.
I remember seeing a comic set up somewhere from game clips of him being in a storage unit.
Yes, that's where he lives. That's where he keeps all of his
That's
treasure, his
the
car.
life. Mhm.
Essentially, he doesn't want to spend the money on real rent for an apartment. He could afford it, but he
Yeah,
chooses not
yeah.
to because he doesn't want to spend money.
Exactly. He's the Mr. Krabs of the Mario universe.
That's pretty much what he is. He started out as a villain, now he's just a miser.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What else is on that list, by the way,
Uh,
of new
for
games,
for new games, coming out
new releases?
for Nintendo. Well, this isn't really new news, but as I understand, the Switch is now capable of controlling very simple robotics.
All that the cardboard,
Yeah, the
those
switchboard or
cardboard things,
something.
and I really want that because I'm sure you know, as you all may know, if you've seen some of my crazy stuff I do while I'm here at camp, I'm really good with cardboard art. So the whole cardboard gimmick with the Switch they're doing is very impressive to me.
Now, I wonder if you'll be able to write your own programs for these robots to move along so that you can build your own machine.
Well, Lego Mindstorm did that and allowed free creativity, so I don't see why Nintendo wouldn't. I mean, right now they have it set for specific models, like a bike handles for a game, and you got a little backpack that looks kind of like something from Super Mario Sunshine, and so forth. So
Now,
we'll.
uh-oh. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, okay.
Hello.
I was afraid we lost you for a second. Um, I would like to see them really pursue this idea of new and inventive ways of playing the Switch because that has been the issue with a lot of Nintendo's previous consoles is they would introduce something, a new gimmick. And this started way back in the day when like with like the DS, the original
Yeah.
DS. They introduced this new
Yeah.
feature and they use it for a little while and then they drop it. Or they hardly use it to
Mm-hmm.
begin with. Otherwise, it's just like that bottom screen ends up just being an interactive menu that you have open all
Mm-hmm.
the time, which is useful, but it's really not utilizing the full capability of the touchscreen. And it ended up that way in a lot of games. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, using the touchpad became optional, and
Yeah.
it's like that with the
I'm a
Wii.
I'm a I'm a big fan of consoles that use or that take advantage of or I'm a big fan of games that take of all of the consoles hardware as far as functionality goes. Like I've seen some videos on games that take full advantage of the Game Boy SP's hardware, and they make like little 3D games. I don't know if you've seen those videos before.
I
It's like
have seen
GB
them.
3D GB. Yeah.
I
Question is, uh, coming up for the Switch, what do you think will be that game that'll take full advantage of its software as far
so,
as
well, that's what I'm
programming and
hoping. What I'm hoping for with the Switch, because its whole thing is the whole thing about it is that you can play it on your TV or you can play it on the go. People are going to use that or they're not.
yeah.
But the idea, like Switchboard, was a brilliant idea because it came up with a new and inventive way of using the Switch's capabilities. And that's what I want to see more of with this. Is not just more of the same. It's like we're gonna get a Mario game with every console. We're gonna get a new Mario game every couple of years. And there's always going to be another Zelda. There's always, and you know what? We'll buy them because we love them. But the point
Yeah.
here is
Now,
that,
question:
well, hold on, just let me finish this.
if
I'll let you get to that. But uh, so what I want to see is the Switch trying to push itself to think outside of the proverbial box, and I'm
Mhm.
hoping that this switchboard thing is the direction they're moving in, not just something to say, "Hey, look at this."
Yeah, what I'd like to see, since again the gimmick with the Switch is it can go mobile. Why not do a travel based Nintendo game that you that requires you to travel and play it, maybe picture capturing, something like that, and then
Like
perhaps
Pokemon
add.
Snap.
Yes,
So essentially,
exactly.
what you're saying is you want Pokemon Go, but actually Pokemon Snap Go on the Switch.
Pokemon Snap, not Go, because with Pokemon Snap, you're actually taking
No,
pictures of
it would be
Pokemon. You're not catching them.
yeah, but this would essentially be Pokemon Snap Go.
We have been wanting a Pokemon Snap sequel for a long time now.
That's what these are for. They're already doing it on phones. They could just do it again.
The normies ruined it.
Yeah, and that's going to be the thing is people aren't going to take their expensive video game console out of their bag in public. A DS maybe,
That's
that's
true.
lightweight. You can collapse that, throw that in your pocket. The Switch is the size of a
All
tablet
right,
and requires a bag
maybe
to be carried around.
maybe a Super Mario travel game of some sort. Something that could again take advantage of its capabilities. And since the Switch can travel, why not
It
incorporating a
can
travel based
travel,
game?
but it loses processing power when it does.
Okay.
So games start to run a little slower.
Okay. Fair enough.
So you need something that is not going to be as hardware and processing and RAM intensive as I think something like a GPS based game would be.
Do you remember when the DSi had Wi-Fi based exclusive games that would only work if you were connected to the Nintendo network?
Yes, DSi
What if
network.
they could start a game line called like Nintendo Travel or something like that, and it would the game itself would come with an attachment that you would plug into your Switch, and it would have like the Nintendo router, and you're automatically connected to Nintendo's um Nintendo
Well,
thing.
they don't do Nintendo
If
Wi-Fi
they,
anymore, do they? Or no, they just canceled
I'm
the
saying that
Wii.
would be a way to do that. that'd be a way to bring it back and also incorporate the travel function into, because you're gonna need Wi-Fi for something like a game like that's travel based. So,
Yeah.
with the game itself, it could come with, or the starter pack could come with a Nintendo or something that you would attach to the Switch, maybe into like the charger port or something. I'm not sure, but you put it into the charger port. It connects itself to Nintendo's satellite system. Maybe you could like maybe it could be a monthly subscription thing. I don't know. Whatever is a fair way to for them to make money and us to still do this. And then you'd have games like Super Mario Road Trip or something like that.
Well, what
And
if you
then
had it
you're on your
instead of like a lot? What if instead of like a live map thing, what if it had a check-in system where every stop you made, you could check in,
hmm.
and then based on the miles you
Say it
traveled
again.
from your last a check-in system, wherein rather than doing a live travel thing, every time you check, oh, every time you check in, it essentially generates progress for you based on the miles you've traveled since your last check-in. And then the whole
Okay.
point of, and then doing that, it would, obviously there would have to be participants for this. Then it would,
Yeah.
maybe it could generate a level based on the stop you made, based at where you made the stop.
Hmm.
And since it's using the GPS when you check in,
Yeah.
it can even, and this is going to be like, it would be like Mario being your welcome center to the neighborhood. You get a special custom level for the participating stop.
Hmm.
That's how I would do it. Just something fun,
I like that.
not
Yeah.
complicated, not in depth.
Hmm. Well, that's what I like about Nintendo is they don't have to go in depth. They put out something fun, and you got everyone hoarded on it for the simple fact is that you enjoy the characters.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Actually, speaking of, this isn't necessarily a new thing, and it's not even Nintendo, but it is video game related. If you don't mind me snagging it real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, give me just a second. Okie doke.
Do do we have any viewers?
Nope, just us for
Oh,
now.
what's
But
that?
well, let's see if can you see the logo on the back, or is the camera not picking it up?
Oh, is it Atari? Is it an Atari handheld?
This is
Dang! Turn it on, please.
this is the Atari Flashback mobile or handheld, I believe, and
Oh, sweet.
it takes a minute to boot up. And what it does is it loads you into a little emulator that they've put together, and you
Yeah.
can. It's kind of clunky. The D-pad is a little sensitive. Uh,
Does it have Battle there?
does it have
The
what?
original Battlefield by Atari. You know the old Battlefield game that Atari made, and it was like you were a tank going through
It
shooting
does
down
not
plane.
on its it does not on its defaults, but it does have an SD card slot that you can load Atari ROMs onto.
Mm, awesome.
And as you can see, I've loaded quite a few. Some of them
Ooh,
boot, some
dang.
of them don't.
I once reviewed a third party arcade thing that a friend of mine had that he let me for reviewing, and it was like a little pocket arcade box thing, or this little arcade box. You do it like this, and apparently those are all like bootleg ports from like a third party company.
Well, they're not so
I
much
read up the
bootleg
review.
ports. They're not so much bootlegs as they are ripoffs. A
Yeah,
bootleg is quite literally just loading the unedited game onto your console, whereas ripping it
some
off
of
is
them
kind of
were
like taking the idea and slapping a new skin on it.
yeah. Well, some of them were literally just ports of old, more unrecognizable games.
Okay. However,
That's
those are those. I was gonna say those little
huh?
arcade machine. I was gonna say those little arcade machines are actually getting really popular.
Oh, they are. At TCC, the place where I go to school,
Yeah.
our school store has a bunch of those in there. I'm gonna snag one next semester for Pac-Man.
Oh, you gotta get Pac-Man. Actually, Pac-Man did come loaded onto this,
Ooh, nice.
but
Yeah,
there's an
they have Pac-Man and Galaga in our school store.
but here's the thing. This is how I know that this is just an emulator on here.
Uh huh.
The ghosts in the Pac-Man game, the Atari Pac-Man game, don't flicker nearly as bad on the actual cartridge. They do flicker. They do flicker a little, but it's
Uh huh.
not nearly as bad as a lot of the emulations make it out.
Okay. Well, let me get my charger here and find a plug up here.
Now, for those of you interested in buying one of these, I must warn you, there are some games on here that on the original Atari you would have been advised to have used the paddle, which is a little Atari controller with a knob instead of a joystick, and that's how you would control games like Pong or Arkanoid or possibly even Space Invaders. Um, Unfortunately, because it does not have any kind of knob built into this console, it compensates for that by making the left and right sides of the D-pad very sensitive, and that can honestly make things a hell of a lot harder than they have to be. So, is this a fun little thing to load a bunch of games onto and carry around with you when you don't feel like uh, dusting off your old Atari? Absolutely. Is this a legitimate substitute for an Atari? No, I still need to get one.
You could save
And
up a ton of money and put a big and an authentic machine in your room.
uh, an authentic Atari 2600, well, those aren't actually terribly expensive. If you get them in just a used working condition, you'll more often than not be more than satisfied. Uh, Unfortunately, and I I'm gonna have to find a way to wire it to hook it up to my current TV because I don't think I can't remember, but I think the old Atari systems had those little forks that you had to screw into the back of the TV. So yeah, I do actually need to get an Atari 2600. I want an Atari 2600. There are stores all around me where I can get Atari 2600 games. I'm gonna have to ask, and I'll probably try to buy locally. Um,
Well,
actually,
you question.
yeah.
You said last time after we were going to do a stream, we are going to go in a little bit into after our topic. We were going to go in a little bit into our what we are doing currently.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead.
I'd,
Just like,
all
and not
right,
just
cool.
stuff
Yeah, I
we're
think we
doing with
talked
our
enough about
channel,
games.
but stuff, yeah, and not just stuff about our channel, stuff that's going on in our lives. And
So, well, I'm going to start with things on our channel though. There's a steampunk shop about 5 minutes away from this camp there, and I bought some I don't have them on me; they're in my cabin. But you know those gloves, kind of like what the Terminator wore in the first movie, or the black leather gloves. The fingers are
The
exposed and you have
riding
the
kind of
knuckles.
gloves.
Yeah, I
Oh
bought
yeah,
those
the,
for ten
the the
dollars.
motorcycle gloves. Yeah,
Yeah, for my what will be my hero suit,
awesome.
Mark One.
Pardon? Mark one.
Mark One hero suit. As in, it'll be my first version.
I
So I'm
still
gonna go
think
for
you should
something more show.
more Showa era. Okay, then I would still
This,
say try to find like a racing helmet.
yeah, I'm working on that. I think we got some down in maintenance that they're trying to get rid of. I'll see what I can get through there.
Okay, doke. Um, so, oh, and by the way, you can make that helmet look a little bit more like your own by getting vinyl decals.
Okay.
Uh, so that's kind of cool. What kind of stuff do they have at this shop?
Say that again.
What kind of stuff is at this shop aside from just the gloves? Like, what are some of the?
They mostly have steampunk merch there, like pipe guns. What else they got? Oops. Oh, I'm trying to plug my charger back in. There's a fan started going off. You there? Hello?